Fire Emblem Engage, released 2023 for Nintendo Switch. Fire Emblem Engage is a strategy turn-based RPG where you command units to move around and attack opposing units. In between missions, you explore a giant area called the Somnial. Similar to a monastery in 3 houses, you can cook food, participate in the arena, buy weapons, feed the local dog, work out, and of course, go fishing. After you beat Chapter 8, you will recruit a character named Diamant, who will oversee the fishing. When you first start fishing, you will be shown a small tutorial and will be given the modest rod. On your first fishing venture, you will be able to fish up to 3 times, and the 3 times you get to fish will recharge each time you complete a mission. There are 3 total rods in this game, and the better the rod, the more attempts you will get. The Sturdy Rod and the Supreme Rod are unlocked in the flea market after finishing specific chapters. There are a total of 20 fish that you can catch across all the rods, and since there are that many, some fish can only be caught with specific rods, like the Mycene Eel, which can only be found with the Modest Rod, or the Volcamoic cod with the Supreme Rod. All the fish have specific times of day that they can appear. Some fish can only be found during evenings or nights, whereas others can be found in mornings or afternoons. You can advance time fairly easily. You can pass it by either taking on skirmishes or main missions, or you can head to a divine bed and take a nap. Each rest/mission will advance time once. If it's morning and you rest, it will turn to afternoon, afternoon to evening, evening to night, and night back to morning. So it's no real stress to catch the fish that you want, especially with the fishing guide, which you can see on the menu right before you select to start fishing. The guide will show you all the fish that you currently have, as well as fish that you don't have, but those are question marked out. Along with the type of fish, it also shows when to catch it and which rod is needed, which is very handy if you want to capture them all. The reward for catching fish vary between each catch, but they all give bond fragments, which can help in combat, and fish as an item, which can be used for increasing stats of units. One fun random thing is that random units that you have recruited may appear around the pond and will be fishing, and if you talk to them you get a small bit of dialogue. It doesn't really mean anything, but I think it's cool. As for the minigame itself, once you talk to the person next to the pond, you will have the option to choose the rod you are going to use. And once you select it, you will have the option to choose if you want to fish alone, or with the dog that is in the Somnial. I would recommend fishing with the dog, as if you mess up, there's a chance that it will help you catch the fish. From my experience, there isn't really any downside to having it help, so I would just recommend it. When you finally decide to start fishing, you will look over the pond, and will select where you want to cast the rod. Ultimately, just select the spot you want to, as I haven't found any difference between spots. And after clicking A, leer will cast the rod in, and a screen with a leer and the dog staring intently at the bobber will appear. Eventually, you will get a bite. And if you time the first A press perfectly, the fish will start with a small bit of its health already depleted, which is handy. A few seconds after the first A press, a quarter circle will appear on the screen. Inside the circle, there will be 2 shades of blue with a blacked out fish swimming around in the middle of it. Your goal here is to hold the left stick away from the direction the fish is swimming. And if done correctly, the fish will become dazed, and when it does, mash A as hard as you can. At the top of the screen is the fish's health bar. The rarer the fish, the larger the health bar is. And each time you hit A, its health will decrease. And when it fully depletes, you'll be forced to time an A press when 2 white circles on the screen meet up. Although it's very easy to do. When the fish starts swimming away at the first part of the minigame, its health will slowly be restored. Although it doesn't really restore by much, so you don't really have to worry about it. But if you manage to time the 2 circles correctly, you will have successfully caught the fish. And a screen will appear that shows you the rewards, the size of the fish, and a little description of it. But if you fail to capture the fish though, a message that states "it got away" will appear on screen, and you'll be asked if you want to continue fishing. Luckily, failing the fish doesn't get rid of your attempts, so you can fail as many times as you want, which is very helpful for getting like a specific rare fish that you want. But if you catch the largest size of a species of fish, there will be a crown next to it in the guide, which doesn't really do anything aside from showing that you mastered that type of fish. Overall, Fire Emblem Engage has a pretty solid fishing minigame. It's easy and very relaxing to complete, although my one big complaint about it is how little you're able to do it, especially at the start. Like, you only get 3 tries, which definitely isn't enough. But other than that, it's really fun to do, and I would definitely recommend it. But, thanks for watching.